Every single day you wake up, you have a choice to make. A choice that will determine the direction of your life. A choice between taking action or allowing the day to slip away unchanged. The decision to get up and do something purposeful and productive with your time is the highest value discipline you can develop. You cannot claim to want success while being unwilling to start your days with forward momentum. Achievement belongs to those who refuse to let their mornings devolve into a wasted series of hours spent drifting aimlessly. If you want a better life, a life of progress and fulfillment, you must get up each morning committed to doing the work required to make that vision a reality. It's so easy to hit the snooze button, to rationalize staying in bed just a little longer. But those individual moments of ease and comfort string together into years of underachievement and unlived potential. Every day you choose to lay dormant. Instead of taking action, you fall further behind those who got up and got going. The inertia of idleness and procrastination is a powerfully destructive force. Remaining stagnant requires no effort. It's the path of least resistance, but it's also the route that leads to a life of incompleted goals, disappointment, and regret. On the other hand, making the conscious decision to get up and stack productive, day after productive day develops incredible strengths. First, it builds discipline and self-control. Pushing yourself to get out of bed and get started when you don't feel like it, when the easier path is to make excuses, expands your willpower. Like a muscle, self-discipline grows stronger through repeated use. And discipline is the key that unlocks every other capability. Without it, your talents are wasted potential. Consistently getting up and doing the tasks that move you towards your goals also instills self-confidence and belief in your ability to achieve whatever you set your mind to. There's no more pernicious dream killer than persistent self-doubt. But proving your competence to yourself day after day, feeling the momentum of consistent progress, eradicates insecurity. You begin expecting success because you've trained yourself for it through diligent daily reps. Mornings launched with purposeful actions establish a positive feedback loop that bleeds into the rest of your day. When you wake up and immediately set something meaningful in motion, you experience a sense of energy, motivation, and enthusiasm. You feel good about yourself and what you're doing, which fuels you to invest further effort. The alternative, waking up and instantly allowing lethargy and apathy to dictate your state, casts a dark pall over the hours ahead of you. Those who get up and get after it develop a heightened awareness of the value and fleetingness of time. When you live each morning rather than unconsciously letting them slip away, you become exquisitely conscious of just how precious the hours are. You adopt a sense of urgency to expand your limited lifespan on doing things that are worthy of the investment. Wasted time, something you once thoughtlessly squandered, becomes abhorrent to you. Living at this level of intention and purpose aligns you with the core truth that life is a series of decisions, and the choices you make ultimately determine everything. When you choose to get up and take action, you are exerting authorship over your circumstances. You're no longer a passive participant, letting life happen to you by default. You become the shaper, the mover and shaker, actively producing the results you ethically desire. Conversely, abdicating the decision to get up and get started to your Bezier, inertia resigns you to living at the mercy of chance, ceding your control to external forces outside of your influence. It's the difference between being a driver or a passenger in your own life and those who take the passenger role, choosing to sleepwalk through their days, forfeit their power to design the realities they truly want to experience. The decision to get up and get going also demands that you have clarity on what you're working towards. Simply waking up and wildly flailing without an overarching vision and set of prioritized goals undercuts your efforts and leaves you spun out. You can't radically change your life through sheer busyness and aimless hustling. There must be artistic intention behind your industry, which means getting up and getting after it is not mindlessly burning the candle. Rather, It's purposefully making a dent in your highest leverage activities for the day before, allowing room for anything else to try to hijack your time and focus. When you wake up, you should have worked out the night before exactly what activities you need to prioritize that day to further actualize your mission. Those objectives get fulfilled before anything else is permitted to accrue. The people who understand this properly design their mornings for maximum outputs on what really counts. They get up earlier than most to ensure they have ample time to work through their list uninterrupted. As they allow no meetings, no social commitments, no distractions before performing their critical work. The first 2 to 4 hours of their days are virtual-free, distraction-free, productive work sessions. For some, those morning blocks are for writing books that share their ideas and impact audiences they'll never physically meet. For others, it's blocking out time to plan and prepare for crucial meetings and presentations, ensuring they show up fully armed instead of just winging it. For many, it's time spent practicing and honing the crafts and skills that underpin their value creation. For entrepreneurs, it may be time spent strategizing about growth opportunities or service refinements. For anyone selling professionally, including themselves, it's time invested in prospecting activities. Those who prioritize getting up and going don't leave their mornings up to chance. They know exactly what they need to get done before the day attempts to sap their energy and steal their prime focus. And they diligently fight to protect that sacred opening period in service of their highest priorities. When you seize the first portion of your day for your most meaningful outputs before anything else can accrue, you establish a cadence that tends to carry the rest of the day. It's like the domino effect. Knock down those first big dominoes and they help topple the rest in succession. When you set your morning up properly for high-value productivity, it lays the groundwork for a highly productive and purposeful day overall. For instance, how many times have you said, I don't feel like going to the gym today. I'm going to skip it. And then ended up making one unhealthy choice after another, and the entire day derailed nutritionally. That's because starting off on the wrong foot in the morning made it easier to spiral into a pattern of poor decisions stacking up. Your trajectory can easily be determined by those earliest actions you do or don't take, which is why it's so vital to get up and do the things that favorably reinforce the type of person you want to become and life you want to lead. Every morning is an opportunity to author a new chapter for yourself, using your fresh morning willpower and focus to change trajectories and shape new outcomes. Over time, you'll remake everything about your circumstances and character if you apply this principle with unwavering consistency. Think about it. Who are you becoming through the decisions you're making day in and day out? Every morning you choose to sleep in instead of doing something constructive. You're voting for a life of mediocrity and underachievement. But each time you get up and get going, you cast a ballot for becoming a more capable, exceptional, and fulfilled person. So many settle for lives of regret and desiring to be something more because they don't gain control over their mornings and days. They let them slip away only to look back and feel crushed under the weight of all their inconsistently seized or entirely missed opportunity. It doesn't have to be that way for you. If you commit to the daily ritual of getting up and doing the work required to progress towards your vision, you can become one of the rare individuals enjoying high levels of success and life satisfaction. When you wake each morning with an intense clarity and commitment to handling your prime priorities, before allowing any intrusions or excuses, you enter a whole new stratosphere of productivity and potential. This is where giants are formed. People who achieve at the highest levels and make legendary impacts, those willing to give their days a ferocious start, while others are still hitting snooze experience exponential gains through the sheer force of compounded daily successes. Little by little, they reverse their ordinary circumstances into extraordinary ones. Every single day, through the simple yet profound act of getting up and getting started on their most meaningful priorities, they continually invest in and expand their capabilities, networks, knowledge, and influence. This intensive discipline stacks and multiplies over weeks, months, and years into attaining outrageous levels of mastery and achievement. So today is the day to start living this uplifting reality. When you wake up tomorrow, decide with conviction that you're going to get up and get going before anything else tries to steal your time and focus. Reclaim the opening hours of your day and dedicate them to doing something that furiously moves you towards your most important goals and aspirations. If you make that decision and hold yourself to it with consistency, letting nothing derail you from executing on your morning prime time, you'll ignite a profound force that reshapes your identity and life trajectory. You'll go from being a wandering generality to a meaningful specific, a person of vision and production instead of just another daydreamer stuck going through the motions. Doing this takes intense willpower, especially when you're first installing the habit and inertia wants to pull you back into old patterns. There will be days when it takes everything within you to fight through the temptation to lay around before getting up and getting started on your priorities. But those are the most crucial moments, when you dig deeper than you've ever had to dig before to muster the discipline to make it happen. Because it's when you blast through those intense resistance points that you transform who you are. If you can manage to get up and get going, regardless of how tired, unmotivated, or lazy you feel on any given morning, you'll begin operating at an entirely new level of mastery over yourself. You'll have hard evidence that you possess the grit and determination to make your dreams reality. The mindset that was previously your stumbling block, thinking you couldn't do it, talking yourself out of seizing opportunities, won't hold you hostage any longer. You'll have cracked the code of no more excuses. And once you move through life with that type of unshakable confidence, willpower, and self-belief, your future expands exponentially. There will be no limits on what you can achieve and experience by harnessing the sheer power of consistently deciding to get up and start each new day by aggressively checking off your highest priority task. No matter what, you install habits that make the extraordinary inevitable. That's how far a commitment to owning your mornings can take you. So what are you waiting for? Starting right now. Commit to getting up and getting after it every single morning of your life from this day forward. Be one of the rare humans who appreciates the unfathomable value of making that simple choice and then stays maniacally devoted defending and honoring that decision each new sunrise. It's the highest of all value disciplines you can develop within yourself, and the one capability that ensures all your other capabilities get fully unleashed for meaningful work and fulfillment. Every 24 hours, you're given a fresh slate to author an unbelievable life chapter for yourself. Don't squander your mornings resting on yesterday's unfinished business. Don't let the insidious force of inertia talk you out of controlling those precious opening hours. Instead, get up, take authority over the first portion of your day, and use it to do something that sets an empowering trajectory for the remaining. If you can master this one habit, decisively getting up and channeling your morning in your most crucial priorities before allowing any distractions, you'll be transformed. You'll experience achievements and fulfillments that presently seem impossible. You'll know what it's like to live at the peak of your powers and constantly grow into more of the person you want to become. That's the power activated by routinely making the willful choice to get up and get going each morning. No more hitting snooze, rolling over, and wasting those first precious hours. Now it's about waking up, looking yourself in the mirror, deciding who you want to be that day, and spending your most energized period directing all of your efforts at making that vision a reality before the minutiae of the day tries to sidetrack your aspirations. So don't just lay there any longer. Get up, right this second, and go do something meaningful and productive with your time before this powerful and inspirational message is even concluded. Wake yourself up, shake off the sleepiness, the inertia, the apathy. Remember the strength of your dreams and the hunger that brought you here. Go take the first intentional step today towards making them reality, because that first step is what bursts momentum. One committed morning leads to a focused and driven day. which strings together into forging an exceptional life of purpose. It all starts with you getting up and doing something powerful with your mornings instead of allowing them to slip away in a sleepy haze. So stand up, dig deep, and seize this moment. The biggest and best life you can envision is staring back at you, awaiting your first bold move to start making it real. Don't hesitate or look back. Get going now. Your calling awaits. The decision to get up and get started doesn't just apply to your mornings, though. It's a mindset that you have to adopt for every area of your life if you want to be extraordinary. It's about having that hunger, that innate drive, that intense sense of purpose pushing you to wake up every single day. Not just physically, but mentally and emotionally as well. So many people are awake and upright in the physical sense, walking around breathing air, but spiritually and inspirationally asleep, going through all the motions of living, but leaving no real dent or legacy, just drifting day to day, passive observers, idle spectators, watching life's grand parade march on by them. True life, true success, true fulfillment comes from having that awakening deep down inside you that ignites an unwavering fire, a blaze that cannot be extinguished by fear, doubts, setbacks, or naysayers. An internal furnace that keeps you feeling that irresistible call that compels you to leap out of bed each morning and keep batting, no matter how many curveballs get thrown your way. When you make the firm decision to stop just watching and finally start doing, that's when the magic happens. That's when your life force gets switched on and you start seeing the world for all the ripe opportunity and abundance it offers, instead of reasons to hold back and play small. Every morning then becomes an invitation, a new chance to jump wholeheartedly into the field of play and enter the arena as a panther instead of a parasito, to shed the burden of thinking tiny and finally allow yourself to expand to your outrageously massive potential that's been simmering away, waiting to be unleashed. Make no mistake, getting up and getting started, whether first thing in the morning or when faced with a new challenge, requires incredible guts. It's not easy to charge headfirst into the unknown, to ignore the doubts and just put yourself out there again and again, no matter how many times you get bloodied or knocked down. The human survival instinct is strong, that urge to play it safe and avoid possible failure or pain at any cost. But here's the cold, hard truth. The people who let that fear mindset dictate their lives are the ones resigning themselves to a fate of regret and underachievement, of having to swallow that bitter pill of knowing they never truly live, that they settle for a diluted existence rather than risking everything to see how remarkably bright their fire could burn. Getting up and getting started, day after day after day, is the antidote. When you make that visceral decision, that unwavering commitment to stop making excuses and just start, you become unshackled. Liberated from the self-doubt, weighing you down, free to finally operate at maximum capacity, to experience the euphoric release of giving every ounce of your talent and ability full expression instead of suppressing it. It's one of the most electrifying and addictive sensations a human being can experience. The high that comes from hearing that internal starter pistol go off and throwing yourself into the arena without hesitation. You'll quickly find that once you get that first hit of progress and momentum, once you build up that little bit of positive reinforcement, the hunger for more growth only intensifies. That's because getting up and getting started creates a whole new relationship with your identity. Instead of being someone who caves to their fears and hides from difficulties or discomfort, you become the absolute opposite, an unstoppable force, someone relentlessly driven to create and produce at the peak of your powers. When you make getting up and getting started your modus operandi, you join that rare air of people who simply don't recognize obstacles or limitations the way others do, where most would allow challenges or setbacks to derail their ambitions entirely. You develop that grit, that unshakable faith in your ability to grind through anything if you just keep putting one foot in front of the other. It's like your mindset goes through a metamorphosis. You stop catastrophizing problems into being bigger than they are. Instead, you view them as mere rocks to step over on your way to your desired destination. You become the ultimate sculptor, chipping away persistently with a laser-focused clarity on unveiling the masterpiece within the slab of marble. Obstacles transform into opportunities, adversity into fuel for your hunger rather than reasons to quit. And it all stems from making that courageous commitment to stop just thinking or talking and finally start doing. Because here's what inevitably happens once you start operating from that mindset. You actually start accomplishing things, achieving goals, stacking wins, expanding what you previously thought was possible for your life. The sheer force of your own progress creates an unstoppable spiral of momentum. One accomplishment breeds the confidence and inspiration to chase after an even bigger goal. Every time you achieve something significant, it expands your self-belief and ambition. You start looking at the world around you in a whole new light, finally grasping the immensity of what's available to you if you just keep putting in the daily reps. This is how ordinary people become extraordinary. Limitations turn into limitless potential, and massive success transformations occur. It's all sparked by making that pivotal decision to stop sleepwalking and finally wake up and start charging after your dreams with a voracious appetite. To get up and get started, no more tomorrows, no more excuses. Every single day, the sun rises as a new opportunity to stand up, shake off the grogginess and doubts, and put in work towards something meaningful, fulfilling. To put points on the scoreboard, check off boxes, and feel the addictive hit of knowing you're doing something important and purposeful with your limited time on this earth. Don't put it off a day longer. Don't give yourself any more wiggle room to make justifications. Just get up and start. Wake up with a vengeance. Hit the ground sprinting. And pour all your focus and energy into doing something productive that moves your goals and vision forward before anything else tries to steal your time and intentions for the day. You'll be amazed at how empowered and invigorated you feel. How doing that one simple act, just getting up and getting started even for 60 to 90 minutes before the distractions and minutia kick in, starts reverberating positive benefits throughout every area of your life. Making the definitive commitment to get up and start stacking accomplishments and results very quickly becomes the highest form of self-care. Once you see the transformations that compounded daily progress can catalyze, it reshapes how you invest every other area of your life too. You'll start making better decisions about who you spend time with and what you feed your mind, because you'll have an intensity of purpose that doesn't allow for time wasted on anything counterproductive. You'll start taking better care of your body through dialed-in nutrition and fitness, because you'll recognize how crucial operating at peak energy and vitality is to sustaining your prolific outputs. You'll tap into deeper levels of creativity and start feeling inspired to explore and stretch your potential like never before. It all starts from making that one profound decision, though. The decision to get up and get started on your meaningful ambitions. Every single day when that alarm goes off, you reach that fork in the road where you get to choose which path to travel. The easy path is to roll over, hit snooze, make some half-hearted excuse to procrastinate a little longer. But that path just leads you back to the same unsatisfying loop of existing day after uninspiring day, already knowing the eventual pangs of regret awaiting you from neglecting to ever start. The other path is to get up and get started, to dig deep and muster that internal grit, to swing your feet over the side of the bed with a sense of certainty and laser-focused intention on not just seizing this day, but building a monumental legacy of impact and fulfillment through relentless consistency.